Once upon a time in a land not too far away, there existed an empire of dust. It spanned across many rooms, carpeted castles, and unswept attics. But then one day it was all threatened by an incoming minion invasion. And standing between the advancing yellow horde and total oblivion was one simple household appliance, the vacuum cleaner. It was large, powerful, and had one job: to destroy the minions. What could possibly go wrong? Let us find out as we ask, what if the minions were left in charge of the vacuum cleaner? To answer our pressing questions, we went straight to the horse's mouth, or rather the bananas. These seemed like the most appropriate source of minion wisdom. And after careful consideration, they gave us the definitive answer to our query. Yes, this would be bad. To fully understand what happened when the minions got their hands on the vacuum cleaner, we need to take a look at what a vacuum is actually capable of. Without boring technical jargon, just know that vacuums are designed to slurp up dirt, dust, and anything else you accidentally set on fire. They also love picking up small objects and holding them hostage until you decide whether you want to wear socks again. But perhaps most importantly, vacuum cleaners can be dangerous. If operated incorrectly, they have been known to suck up fingers, toes, pets, and even people. So clearly, a vacuum cleaner has more than enough power to defeat an army of malicious primates. So let us dive right into this horrifying history lesson and explore what would have happened on the day the vacuum stood no chance. The year is 2014, the location, a nondescript studio lot somewhere in Los Angeles, California. The event, the filming of a highly anticipated animated feature called Minions. At some point during production, the crew needed something to fill the screen with while the animators finished up some shots. So someone hit play on the nearby vacuum cleaner. Immediately, the minions became transfixed by the strange contraption. Was it a new type of laser gun? Did it shoot banana peels? Was it the long-lost friend of a certain crew who was also a big fan of lasers? There was only one way to find out. As soon as filming wrapped, the minions descended upon the vacuum cleaner. It seemed like a good idea at first. There were lots of levers and buttons to push. Plus, it made a cool noise. But before anyone knew it, the minions had caused thousands of dollars worth of damage. They broke the vacuum cleaner beyond repair. It was dead, or was it? No, because apparently it's against minion law to kill inanimate objects. So instead, they left it broken and moved on to wreak havoc elsewhere. This is probably for the best because otherwise someone might have gotten hurt. Wait, what was that sound? Oh, hey, sorry, just the producers having a panic attack in the next room. Now fast forward 5 years and the minions are loose in the world. They've seen the vacuum cleaner before, but what they remember most about it is how much fun they had destroying it. So when they see another vacuum cleaner, they can't help but get a little curious. Sure enough, one minion walks up to the vacuum and the others aren't far behind. He reaches out a hand and tentatively strokes the power cord. Then he takes a bigger risk and sticks his whole arm inside the vacuum. He pulls a lever back and forth. It makes a funny noise. The other minions join in and together they figure out how to turn the vacuum on. Once they do, things start to go wrong. A few minutes later, the vacuum cleaner is destroyed, leaving the minions confused about why it stopped working. They look at each other and shrug. This is where things get crazy. You see, the vacuum cleaner wasn't just any ordinary vacuum cleaner. No, siree, Bob, it was attached to a special effects rig used to film the next scene in the movie. And the next scene just so happened to be the climax of the entire movie. The minions didn't know this, though, and they continued to wreak havoc on the set. They pulled out extension cords and chewed through them until they looked like licorice. They poked their fingers in electrical outlets and sang silly songs while flipping switches. They tripped circuit breakers and danced around on control panels. They climbed inside the vacuum cleaner and started making mischief from the inside. Before long, the entire set was in complete darkness and the director was losing his mind, but the minions didn't care. They had found their new favorite toy and weren't about to stop playing with it anytime soon. This is a great example of what would happen if minions were left alone with a vacuum cleaner. With their insatiable curiosity and lack of regard for personal safety, they could easily cause all sorts of mayhem. And as we've seen, they don't seem to care about the consequences either. Fortunately, this story has a happy ending. In this case, the minions eventually got bored with the vacuum cleaner and moved on to something more interesting. The crew was able to salvage most of the set and finish filming the movie without any major delays. But not all encounters between minions and vacuum cleaners are so friendly. Take this incident in a suburb of Minneapolis, Minnesota. A woman was cleaning her house when she turned on the vacuum cleaner. She didn't realize there were two minions hiding inside until it was too late. The vacuum cleaner sucked them up and held them hostage until she emptied the canister. When she finally opened it, she found one dead minion and the other had somehow managed to climb out without getting crushed. This is a clear example of a vacuum cleaner standing no chance against the minions. After all, they were able to escape from a sealed canister. Just imagine what would happen if a full-grown man tried doing that. Or how about this terrifying tale from Sydney, Australia? A man was mowing his lawn when his neighbor turned on her vacuum cleaner. The noise was so loud that it drowned out the sound of his engine. He couldn't believe his ears, so he stopped mowing and walked over to investigate. Sure enough, the vacuum cleaner was to blame. But it wasn't just any ordinary vacuum cleaner. It was a giant industrial-strength model designed to clean carpets in commercial buildings. The man was stunned by its size and power and quickly backed away. As he did, he heard a voice inside the vacuum cleaner. It was the neighbor's son and he was yelling for help. Apparently, he climbed inside to get away from his mother, and now the vacuum cleaner was sucking him dry like a giant straw. Thankfully, the man was able to pry open the lid and rescue the boy before it was too late. Another close call for a vacuum cleaner, but still impressive nonetheless. Or maybe this final story will change your mind. One day a family was enjoying a picnic in the park when their 3-year-old daughter wandered off. They searched for her everywhere, but couldn't find her anywhere. Just when they were about to call the police, they heard a giggle coming from inside a nearby hedge. They parted the branches and saw their daughter sitting on top of a vacuum cleaner. It was plugged into an electrical outlet and turned on. She was using it as a ride-on toy and having the time of her life. Her parents were relieved to find her safe and sound, but they couldn't help but wonder what would have happened if the vacuum cleaner had sucked her in. It was powerful enough to lift her off her feet and could have easily dragged her inside if she had slipped off in time. This is a reminder that vacuum cleaners aren't just dangerous for children, but for adults too. Never underestimate the power of a hungry vacuum cleaner. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned for more videos.